Hello and welcome to Horse Sense. I'm Mohit Lalwani here at Lori Laxon Stables at the Singapore Turf Club, and we will catch up with the legend shortly on this episode. But time now for some more horse racing. The Merlion Cup, that's up next.
The Merlion, a half-fish and half-lion chimera, is Singapore's most ubiquitous symbol. The Merlion Trophy, a Group 3 race, is run in honor of this omniscient icon. The race was initiated 16 years ago in 2000 and was known as the Fisher Stakes then. Legend Gun saddled Pacific Prince, who had been imported from West Australia, where he had won 2 Group 1 races and continued his winning form here with Peter Lau in the saddle. The next year he was back again to defend his title, winning it in style. This time he was partnered by Robbie Woodworth.
In behind them, look at Pacific Prince wind up along the inside. Fisher's a mile off them at the 200 metres. Superb Effects grabbed the lead. He put 2 lengths on them from Pacific Prince, running on late. Further out Able Tycoon, but it's Superb Effect with 100 metres to go, running about a bit. Pacific Prince had to dash out, switch out, but too late. Superb Effect has taken the Fisher Stake.
It wasn't until 8 years later when another horse broke Pacific Prince's record of a double. Lori Laxon trained YB won the race for the 3rd consecutive year in 2008, each time bettering his own record. The first time in 2006, the bay gelding had taken home the race with Sam guiding him home, clocking a minute 11.9. The following year, in 2007, he was partnered by Baron Voster and clocked a time of a minute 10.8. Finally, in 2008, when the race was renamed the Merlion Trophy, he was partnered by Simi and he came out and won again, clocking a time of 1 minute 10.2, narrowly missing the record of a minute 10.1 set by Bliss Bess, the 2002 winner.
2.75 to go. YB given a smack with the Persuader. He leads by 2 lengths on Limb Spider, trying to wear him down. And on the outside, always fast, but the champ's responding. YB, they can't beat him. And YB wins by a half a length on Limb Spider.
Lori Laxon has won this race a record 5 times. The first 3 times with YB, followed by a win in 2010 with his charge Mexican Rose, and a final one coming in 2012 with Better Than Ever.
Into it, Better Than Ever is down the outside, Merchant, and then Excavator inside the final 250. Yinsen kicked through on the inside of Northern Line. Addo is running on, Better Than Ever down the outside with Merchant, Capablanca. Addo went to the lead, Better Than Ever trying to collar it here. Addo's the leader, but Better Than Ever coming with big strides down the outside and a big return. Better Than Ever blows them away, wins it by a half length over.
El Padrino, trained by Alvin Tan, took home the race consecutively in the last 2 years.
Obvious trying to improve ahead of Cavallo. Well back El Padrino, but peeling to the outside and finishing on. Pioneer 7, a narrow leader. Goalkeeper coming after him now. El Padrino begins to let down very quickly with Captain Obvious. Mr. Big can't go on with it, but El Padrino swept up on the outside, raced the front over Goalkeeper. Captain Obvious sticks on fairly well, but El Padrino is going to demolish them. El Padrino wins the Merlion by 5. They're off in the Merlion Trophy. Supernova and Hooker Falls both away well. Magneto out wide is zooming up there, and a Happy Money's going to hold a good spot with City Ladder. Magneto into the straight, turns for home by 2 lengths over Holy Empire under big pressure. Over on the inside is Hooker Falls, followed by Happy Money. Then came Goalkeeper, Step It Up, and here's El Padrino down the outside. Magneto getting tired. Holy Empire goes to it, Step It Up, and down the outside is El Padrino. El Padrino zoomed up on the outside of Step It Up, put his nose in front. He's come from dead last, El Padrino, and he races away back to back in the Merlion. El Padrino over Step It Up, 3rd after a gap, maybe Goodman just ahead of Cavallo.
This year's renewal saw 9 runners enter the fray for the first leg of the Singapore Sprint Series to be run over 1200 meters on the polytrack. Spalato from John O'Hara's stable was the pack leader here, and not surprisingly so. The 6-year-old had 2 Group 3 winners under his belt since September and had landed his last start, the Kranji Stakes A, over 1,000 meters on the polytrack on the 14th of September. He would be looking at continuing his winning form with Corey Brown in the saddle. The Alvin Tan trained El Padrino was also back in the fray, looking for a hat-trick of victories. He was making, however, only his 3rd appearance this season. He had placed in his previous 2 starts this year and would now be looking at claiming top spot with Oscar Chavez back in the saddle. The Michael Clemens Wonder Mare Kiwi Karma had made an electric start to the season with 2 wins from 2 starts and would be looking at extending his streak with champion jockey Nunes on board. Lori Laxon fielded 2 runners, Step It Up and Hooker Falls. The son of Hussenet was making his first start this season and would be looking at regaining his winning form from last year despite this being too short for him. Hooker Falls had made a winning start to the season with 2 wins in the Kranji Stakes A and an Open, but had since lost his form, placing 6th in both his previous starts. With Vlad Durek partnering him for the first time, it would remain to be seen how the pair would fare. Michael Friedman fielded Wimbledon in the silks of the China Horse Club. He had run second to Kiwi Karma the last time in the Kranji Stakes A over 1200 meters on the turf and would be hoping to go better here. The Shane Bartsugar trained Faultless was also in that race where he finished 5th. He was partnered by Khalidi here, who would be hoping to guide the horse home for his first victory since 2014. The Theo Kieser trained Goalkeeper had run second to last in his previous start in an Open over 1100 meters on the Poly and would hope to do better this time around with Alan Munro on his back. And finally, Alvin Tan's other runner Happy Money, who was making his first group appearance since August of last year, had Olivier Placet in the saddle.
We'll take a short break on that note, bring you the race. Don't go anywhere at all. Welcome back to Horse Sense. Time now for the Merlion Cup. Let's head over back to the Singapore Turf Club.
Now Kiwi Karma goes in, so the field taking shape. It is Spalato at 8 and 8, the favourite way. Kiwi Karma 26, El Padrino getting set. Brilliant Sunshine now. And Spalato heading up towards the gates here for Corey Brown. Goalkeeper about to link up. Spalato not quite. And a Step It Up. Recent trial on Tuesday, pretty good. For the first time, Dan Beasley will ride this horse in an official race, and it's a good one. Elevated to a Group 2 status now, the Merlion Trophy. And we're just about right to go. $350,000 feature here today. Racing in the Merlion Trophy, El Padrino the slowest away. Now Spalato is settling down about 4th as we look for the early pace, and it's Faultless on the inside, and also Happy Money away well from Kiwi Karma. Wimbledon out deep is moving up 3rd. Spalato back in about 5th. A few lengths away then Hooker Falls from Goalkeeper. Step It Up being pushed along to stay in contact, but is about 4 lengths adrift. And El Padrino about a length away on the inside, so 800 metres left to go. And it's Faultless who led narrowly, although Wimbledon is going on with a job, and Happy Money going up in the middle. Kiwi Karma in a nice spot is back in 4th, and Spalato having a nice trip. He's 5th. Goalkeeper further back with Hooker Falls. El Padrino's being called upon. Under the whip about 3 lengths away, and Step It Up back at the rear. So around the turn they come, and it's Wimbledon out wide racing up with Happy Money and also Faultless. Kiwi Karma and Spalato, geez, travelling well into the straight, and here he comes in the familiar green silks. It's Spalato who ambles up and grabs the front. Now back in the pack, El Padrino about 4 lengths away. Hooker Falls battling on fairly well, but he goes for the whip on Spalato. 3 lengths in front. El Padrino making ground, but with 100 metres to go, it's Spalato in front. He's too good, and he's racing away, and Spalato's going to take the Merlion Trophy easily. Spalato by 3.5. Second goes to El Padrino. Kiwi Karma 3rd, and they were spaced out at the end. Then Step It Up, and further back Wimbledon, Hooker Falls, Happy Money, some tired horses here, Goalkeeper, and also Faultless.
Oh, look, it's a pleasure to ride these sort of horses. Obviously, Michael's misfortune's been my meal ticket, so to speak, but look, he's a pleasure to ride. He jumped, he travelled really well. I followed Kiwi Karma. I thought there was going to be a little bit more speed in the race, but I didn't have the tempo from the barrier to kick and go outside the leader, so I just thought I'd ride him again how I rode him last time, let him tell me what he's thinking. But from the 600 when I released, went up 1 gear, he circled the field, and he won as he liked. Today, he really impressed me. The other day, not saying he wasn't impressive, shorter distance, and I had to give him a little bit of a encouragement to make him win the other day, but today it was, like I said, from the 600 when I asked him to extend and he went up 1 gear, it was pretty much all over. Actually, I'm quite disappointed, like the owners and connections would be. He's not going to Dubai because a horse of his calibre and the feel that he gives me, I've never ridden a winner in Dubai, but he would have been super competitive, I feel. And look, he's still got plenty there. He had a decent little blow on the pull-up, so John's got a little bit more to work with. But he's an exciting horse. Not telling you anything that you don't know, but he really, really impressed me today.
Spilato took up the running with 300 metres to go and stretched away from the field to take home the spoils with close to 4 lengths to spare over El Padrino, who was in second. Kiwi Karma was in third, 9 lengths behind. Spilato is a son of Elusive City and has taken his winning tally to 10 from 14 starts. He's earned his connections over $1.6 million so far.
What a fabulous performance it was by one of our superstar horses here in Singapore. It's good to have Spilato back, the champ's back. He's made a 2 from 2 for 2016 and representing Graham Mackey. It gives me great pleasure to welcome onto stage. Please give a big round of applause to Trish Donnell. 2 from 2 for 2016 is Spilato. Well done to Trish, well done to Graham Mackey as well, a big supporter of Singaporean racing. Really, really exciting stuff from Spilato here. The man who's prepared him to the minute. Please give a big round of applause to the winning trainer, Mr. John O'Hara. Another trophy to add to the cabinet, and I know John's a big fan of the Merlion. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me a pleasure to welcome on stage Corey Brown, winning rider. Well done to him. He's 2 for 2 on Spilato for 2016. And it's another trophy for Corey Brown to add to the locker. And that's it, folks, for the 2016 edition of the Merlion Trophy. We're going to have a photo of all our winners. Well done to everyone concerned. Spilato dominant yet again in 2016.
Well, it's time for a short break here on Horse Sense. When we come back, we'll bring you, as promised, a conversation with Lori Laxon, the latest Hall of Famer. Welcome back to Horse Sense. Now, achievement, we think, comes difficult to most. To this man, he makes it look extremely easy, though there's a mantra to his success. Lori Laxon, who's just been inducted into the New Zealand Hall of Fame, has achieved all that there is to in the world of horse racing, but his hunger hasn't abated one bit at all, Lori.
Oh no, I'm still very keen on what I do. Like, training racehorses is actually my hobby, and I think if you can get a living off your hobby, that's what you're most happiest doing.
Now, Lori, take us back, the Hall of Fame, being inducted into that. I mean, we've had some great names like Bart Cummings, but also Far Lap, and, you know, being part of history. What does this mean for you? What does it, symbolize?
It's not so much for me. It came as quite a surprise and actually a great honour, but it's for my family and friends and people close by me. I think that they all part of it, and they all helped me along to achieve that.
Now, it's been a long career. Some of the highlights that probably or possibly stand out right at the very top. Obviously, the Merlion Cup is a good place to start.
Yeah, well, training my first winner is also, quite memorable, because, you just wonder how you're going to go in the business. And so I trained my first winner at Ellerslie, and then just things progressed from there gradually. Wasn't instant, but getting the Empire Rose to run in the Merlion Cup, it was good. I've actually had 6 Merlion Cup runners for a winner in 2 seconds, and that's the pinnacle, the Merlion Cup. And then the Hong Kong International itself, that's a great race to win as well.
And the Merlion Cup, remember that. It was a dwindling neck or a half length. Your thoughts, think back. What were you thinking in the last 50 yards or so?
Well, it's hard to tell, because where the trainers watch the race is about 50 yards or more before the winning post. So the horses actually go past you before they hit the winning post, so it's hard to tell. But the horse that she beat in the Merlion Cup never actually got past her. Got to her, but couldn't get past her, and he never raced again.
All right, you came across to Singapore. What prompted that move, Lori? It's obviously been a great innings and a super career so far. What was it that actually said, I'm going to go across?
Well, I got a call from George Simon, who was a commentator here at the time, and he said, would you like to come to Singapore to train? And I said, well, no. I said, I'm sick of travelling. I'm going to Ipoh and Kuala Lumpur and Penang and all that. And I said, I've been backwards and forwards to Australia, and I'm just sick of travelling George, I said, I quite like the idea of going to Hong Kong because it's so efficient and no travelling. And he said to me, no, it's all changed now because Singapore's a standalone and they don't go racing in Malaysia anymore. And so anyway, I spoke to my wife about it, and so I had a horse racing in the Merlion Cup, which was the first Monday in August. So I came up to watch him race, and then I came on up here to Singapore, and Mr. Sung said to me, oh, these are your boxes here. And I said, well, I haven't applied yet and you haven't told me whether I get in or not. He said, no, but these are your boxes here, I'm telling you. And I said, oh, okay. So that was in August, and I was here by the end of October.
Look back at your career in Singapore. What are some of the moments that stand out for you?
Oh, winning the Singapore Gold Cup, I think, is a bit of a highlight. It's with Recast and Raoul, and I've had the Horse of the Year many times. Like Top Spin was a great horse, and Big Easy, and of course Waikato, which I raced myself, which I actually bought for someone else, and then they said they didn't like the sire, so I finished up a racing myself, and he won $3 million. So he was a great horse, retired fully sound.
Now, Laurie, you're one person who's always propagated the New Zealand breed. How much of that is emotional? How much of that is scientific?
No, well, it's New Zealand horses don't have to go into quarantine in New Zealand, so and of course I know the people there, and when I buy them, whether they be yearlings or ready to run horses, I know who to place them with, who to get them trialled up with, educate them, and they fly here direct from Auckland. Whereas if you buy a horse at the Gold Coast, you've got to send it all the way down to Melbourne, and I don't really know the people over there to deal with, and then it's got to do 2 or 3 weeks in quarantine in Melbourne and before it comes up here, whereas the New Zealand horses, they don't have to do that. They just fly direct from Auckland, no quarantine in New Zealand, come here and do their 2 weeks, and we're in business.
Now, for you personally, there have been some significant lifestyle changes this year. You weren't well, but you've recovered, you're looking super. Tell us what's happening.
Oh, well, I'm pretty well. I had a bit of a setback. I had a bit of a stomach upset, but we got over that, and it was only a small matter, and it's all fixed up, and we're back in business.
Back in business, lighter and stronger.
Yeah, and enthusiastic, and it's been a bit of a setback here with the Strangles situation. That sort of made things a little bit different with no swimming pool. We don't have a swimming pool at the moment, and hope to get that right soon, and it's only just today that we've been allowed to bring our cars in, which is a big plus, so it makes everything a little bit quicker if we can do that, but no, I think it's great.
Now, Laurie, you're someone who has mantras for success. You know, you've talked about hard work, you've talked about discipline. You're even one person willing to defy the norm and take a leap of faith, manner of speaking, feng shui. Tell us about this.
Well, when I was on my way here to Singapore, like this is in year 1999, I bought a little book on feng shui, and so I embraced their culture, and very much so. For instance, you know, I read where it's preferable to have a painting behind you, particularly if it's of Everest, and at your desk, and a water feature in front of you, and maybe a bell on the door so that when it rings the money will come in the office, and so I've embraced the culture, and we feed the hungry ghost every August when he comes and when he goes, and or he or they or she or whoever they might be, and no, I enjoy it and part of it.
And the future, you've achieved so much. In your interviews, you've said this a number of times, and it's clear for everyone to see the hunger still burns deep.
Oh yes, but you know, like as long as my health's all right and I enjoy what I'm doing, and I make sure I get enough time off every year to go back and buy ready to run horses in November, and I go back for the yearling sales to New Zealand in January, and we go up into Europe and France. And matter of fact, we bought a very good horse in France, which is in training in Ireland, a horse called Torsador, and he's in work in Ireland with David Watchman, and he's one of the best staying horses in Ireland at the moment, and he's by Fastnet Rock out of a full sister to Yates, and he's won a Group 3 race, and I think we paid 70,000 euros for him, a couple of my friends and myself, and he won a Group 3 race in Ireland, and I think it was about 90,000 English pounds to the winner, so he's well ahead of himself. Very good.
Yes, you're right. He sure is. Laurie, talking about horses, 2016. What are those in your stable that have caught your eye, that provide you with that sparkle every morning when you come to work?
Yeah, well, Affleck is one of them. He was champion 2-year-old, champion 3-year-old, and he'll run in the 4-year-old races. And of course, I think Step It Up can do everything again this year that he did last year. He just had a run the other day in a sprint race, which is not really his cup of tea, and he ran 4th in it. He's just one of those horses that when he sees horses in front of him, he's just got to get past them.
And finally, Laurie, a message for young upcoming trainers who might be watching this. What's the best advice you can give them?
My best advice to them is to be honest and play well within the rules, and then have your horses try all the time, and then you won't go far wrong.
Well, there you go. Lori Laxon, we wish him all the success here from the Horse Sense team at the Singapore Turf Club. Thank you for joining me on Horse Sense. Until I see you on the next episode, goodbye, and as always, may the horse be with you.